We are live.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check. As always, I'm Snorlax XBT, also known as Tommy, joined by the amazing Max, Will's Outlook, and Tucker. Going to be breaking down everything from charts to financial news that we're seeing in the markets right now. Obviously, Bitcoin has, it was hanging out on the lows yesterday, and so far we've seen a decent enough response. But I say that, and it's funny because we're talking about as if there's been volatility in the crypto market. Prices are green, but realistically speaking, Bitcoin has only moved what 300 points off the low. So it appears that the market is recovering, but ultimately still just confined within this within the context of this range. And I know that all of us I feel like more of us are beginning to align on kind of what that means for price, in the short and long term. But yeah, I mean, I think we all have the bias that this is probably going to continue higher for now. So we do like to see the fact that Bitcoin's bouncing. I'm encouraged by the fact that some of these altcoins are bouncing stronger than others. I'm looking at LDO and Optimism. Those are two altcoins that, typically speaking, over the course of 2023 and the second half of 2022, they didn't always lead the crypto market or Bitcoin, that is, but they did in the sense that they tend to make their higher time frame moves before Bitcoin, or at the very least their strength kind of gave you a signal that Bitcoin was beginning to potentially come into a reversal point. And it's just so interesting to me that these charts, Optimism and LDO in particular, look so bullish with Bitcoin sitting right here at 31K. So I'm very curious, and as a crypto native, very excited to see what that entails for the market into at the end of July and obviously into August as well. But then we've got the flip side as well, which is equities. And there's something I wanted to talk about in great detail today, guys, because I think we correlations this year have been very come and go. But one thing has been very consistent throughout the entire year, and that's that the dollar has essentially been in a downtrend all year. And so we haven't always seen that correlation directly. If that's the case, a trending dollar, you could potentially, see that lead to higher prices and indexes. And maybe that spills over to Bitcoin and crypto as well, especially with some of our confluent factors maybe giving us a bit of a signal there also. But yeah, no, I wanted to talk about that. I know Tucker, Max, and I were kind of discussing, or Tucker sent a chart that I want him to discuss, I should say, specifically how this current market relates to markets that we've seen in the past. I just think it's a very interesting, setup into the end of the year. And I think for me, it's all about really prioritizing how I want to, position both before a potential halving. Are we going to get another dip to buy into, as well as prioritizing the end of the year in what looks like an increasingly bullish picture over the next few months. Yes, we might have a dip in between that, but it's hard to look at the dollar like that and just think that it's just going to U-turn aggressively higher. Maybe like I said, you get some sort of pullback, you get the dollar swiping at topside liquidity and yada yada yada. But I don't think that the dollar is in a position right now where it has the strength to literally just U-turn that sort of setup, which looks to me like, I mean, that entire consolidation looks like redistribution if you were talking about trading an altcoin. So I do think the dollar is going to be trading lower, which is so funny to think about because I remember being bullish on the dollar at the start of the year. But my oh my, how things change. All of that and more on today's show, guys. We appreciate you for being here. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you're new. We almost got 50 yesterday, so I really want to see if we can, get anywhere close to that again today. That was really awesome. And we appreciate you guys for being here on your Thursday mornings. But without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Max to get his thoughts on the dollar, specifically the fact that it's breaking down and kind of the implications that this might have for the rest of the year. Max, how are you doing, and what are you seeing in the markets?
Yeah, hey Tommy, Tucker, Will. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, guys, thanks for being here. Yeah, look, I mean, It's a pretty incredible breakdown that we're starting to see. This is not looking like a this isn't looking like a high time frame candle that we're about to reminisce on in 6 months and go, wow, what a swing fail that was, to the downside. This looks like the floor is giving out after, almost a year, or we'll just say like 6 months of accumulation that a lot, including myself, at times were thinking, that could be the floor. That was arguably our range high retest. I mean, DXY was in a range that basically began in 2009. And that range high of basically 100 on DXY basically kept price suppressed underneath that 100 level all the way until they started printing money like crazy, and we finally broke out in 2022. So we finally broke out. The dollar hit 114. We came back. We retested that 100 level. We spent about 6 months chopping and ranging there, and now the floor is giving out. So you have to assume at this point that that move that we saw in 2022, where we broke out above, 100 to 104 was that range, that previous range high. You can see on the chart right there. Yeah, maybe Tucker, you could draw like a really thick line at that range high right there, like basically at 100, all going back all the way. Yeah, yeah, like right there. Down a little bit to the left more. Yeah, so starting it to the left. Yeah, right there. Yep. So I'd say that's sort of like our conservative range high, and then you could draw it all the way up to the top of those deviations too. You could. It's just kind of that area. So it's still possible we turn around here. Yeah, that's it right there, man. That's the range high. So we saw it break out, and now at this point, you have to be concerned. At least if you're a Dixie bull, you have to say to yourself, well, was that just a big deviation in in a QE frenzy where DXY broke out, in very very bizarre conditions, a statistical anomaly, and now we're going to re-enter that previous range. Now, something to note for how this would affect risk markets. Let's just take a quick look at Bitcoin. I mean, Tucker, if you can throw a Bitcoin chart up at the very bottom, right underneath the XY, like on a new pane. Yeah, or there too, I guess.
Put it on the RSI. There we go.
There you go. Maybe put Bitcoin in log if you could.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no, I don't know if I can.
That's okay. Um,
Wait,
so here, actually, let me give you a step by step. So go back. Yeah. So
that's what I'm doing.
The dollar, it looks to me like at this point, it's going to continue lower. It's going to break structure, and then the eventual bounce might be a vicious one, but it's just going to end up forming a complacency shoulder on a higher time frame. Is my inclination.
There's actually a trend. If you run the lows of the dollar, you can actually find a trend line of support there. I think in the 95 to 94
Tucker,
zone.
if you zoom out a bit, even going back to 2017, you'll probably have to put it on the 1 week or 2 week chart. I mean, just look at how there's such a strong negative correlation between DXY strength and Bitcoin weakness and vice versa. I mean, they move complete opposites of one another. So, I'm looking at this and, I can't help but become slightly more bullish risk assets if we're going to see a DXY collapse here. Now, it's never guaranteed. There are small periods of times, and these moves we're talking about can take months and months and months to play out. But it's a pretty strong correlation. DXY down, historically speaking, Bitcoin up. Now, granted, again, it's not 100%. There's small periods of time where that's not the case. But look, I mean, if DXY is going to move back down towards range lows here over the next year or something like that, what are the implications of that for risk markets? I mean, nobody wants to be stabled up, holding cash. Nobody wants dollars. They're going to FOMO into risk assets. So the big question is this actually going to be like a breakdown for DXY back under that 100 level without a reclaim? or is it going to end up becoming a swing fail? It looks like the floor gave out at this point, but I guess time will tell. So yeah, those are my thoughts. You know, DXY looks terrible. It looks absolutely abysmal. But anyways, yeah, Will, what's going on, man?
No, I have a higher time frame play for DXY, and this is my thesis. If DXY were to break, that it would meet this trend. Um, Actually, if I could share screen just for a minute, and you can take it back here, Tucker.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So share. All right. So as you can see here, this is kind of like the longer term trend that I had. I was expecting a swing high before a swing short. Obviously, they swung short first. So
Hey,
the
Will,
high
I
is pretty
can't.
much
Oh wait, sorry. There you go. It just popped up. Go for it.
okay. Yeah, I was expecting to swing high before a swing short. They've obviously gone short first. So this is pretty much invalidated as far as the move. So expectations are they're going to pull back the trend. Now, this is a long-term trend for dollar. It's been really strong. And I think it will continue to hold here. So because they didn't swing high here, now this whole reversal here, because I was looking for an ABC to the high, and then I was looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drop down. But now that's kind of invalidated. So now I would arguably say we're going to kind of see that A into a B into a C drive low, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. Right. So that's expectations now. Kind of had to redo my process here. But I think it's more something, sorry, not like that, but it's more something like this. So that's your A into your B into your C drive right there. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for this thing to literally just flush down to the low, wherever that may land. And then once we kind of hit that price area, and really I'm looking for this support right here specifically to hold. And once we kind of hit this price area right here to kind of roll back out for the dollar again later on, right? Now, if you look here, the funny part is that to me, it looks like we're almost going to hit that trend probably around like 2024, 2025, going into maybe 2026 and roll back out. And then we'll probably end up in another bear market again. So it's funny how it all lines up. You know, if you think about it, when you think about cycles in crypto, I think that this will line right up with the bull market in crypto when everybody tells you it's going to continue to go parabolic, and then all of a sudden the market reverses again. Same thing with SPY and everything else. People can look at this however they want, but when the dollar reaches this trend, I would definitely not be fading that. Right, like that's a strong trend to try and say, hey, I need to fade this, especially since it's been playing out since 2011.
But that's a really long ways down there, Will. I
That
mean,
is.
what do you think the implications for risk assets are? I mean, that could take 6 to 9 months potentially. And we know
Well,
that there's a negative correlation between risk and DXY strength and weakness. What do you think that that means right there?
I think that's what drives the next bull market for crypto, right? And a lot of people don't realize that, right? They keep on looking at this macro, that macro, and that's why I say bears are just way too early, right? They're just way too early to the trade here. You're years ahead of the move, in my opinion. If you're a bear, like a bear, and when I say bear, I don't mean like somebody said, "Hey, we're looking for a structured pullback," but then we're looking for a breakout again, right? That's not a bear. That's somebody looking at charts from a standpoint of, hey, there's opportunity in this move. I'm going to take it. And a lot of people get those two misconstrued. There are actual macro bears who think that something catastrophic is going to happen here to reverse everything. And then the dollar is going to shoot up and all the assets are going to drop down. There's just no signal of that when it comes to DXY, when it comes to oil, so on and so forth. But I do see it chopping, right? I see it dropping and maybe like coming down, reversing back up, and then coming down and reversing back up. And that's where you're going to see the chop in the charts while we're kind of structurally building up into the next bull run
So
for
Will, let
crypto.
me ask you this though. Okay, so we know that your shorter term thesis on Bitcoin um, would be 33, maybe 37K, something like that.
Yeah.
From there, you've publicly said on this show, like, hey, you know, from there I'll probably be bearish. You know, like I'm gonna de-risk at that point, start looking for some shorts. Um, Given that, I mean, the chart we're looking at right now, It looks like from here we could see DXY come back and retest that trend line in the low 90s sometime between now and basically the next halving. Do you think that Bitcoin could actually then like rally beyond your price targets if we see a DXY collapse?
So he go ahead and finish your question. I don't mean to cut
No,
you
that
off,
you
but
I think you get where I'm going with it. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
why
yeah.
do you think that Bitcoin's going to stop at 30 to 37K if DXY is going to collapse, and we know that typically when DXY collapses Bitcoin does extremely well.
Because I don't think it's going to collapse. I think it's just going to work its way down, right?
So can
Um,
Bitcoin go back to like 19, 20K while
yeah,
DXY is slowly working its way down?
yeah,
I
because
think
what
there's
you'll see,
historical precedents for that, not with Bitcoin, but with stocks. Like all assets get hit when the dollar finally like fully capitulates, but
yeah.
not entirely
So
sure about that.
if you look right here, like this is a bounce, right? So this bounce on the dollar right here, I would almost say would be kind of like your Bitcoin down, right? So this would be your pullback on your Bitcoin, and then from there it would be run up again into your Bitcoin. Now, structurally, a lot of people didn't notice this. Do you see this big W playing out
Yeah.
right here on the dollar? On the higher time frame, not the 4 hour, 8 hour daily, weekly. This is the monthly. Big W was playing right here. We double bottomed, and nobody looked for the reversal in the market, right? And that's where I knew we were topped on a lot of markets because I was like, okay, we got a W formation on the dollar. Not only do we have a W formation, we're lining up with a trend, right? Long-term trend, W formation, reversal move, boom. And it went much higher than I anticipated. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought we were gonna top right here, just blew through it, right? And the second it blew through it, I was like, oh, this thing's gonna nuke. I'm like, markets are gonna continue to nuke. And then it just continued to run and run and run. And then all of a sudden now we're in a full-on downtrend. So the dollar is in a downtrend, 100%. But you could see little bounces like this that could completely wreck assets, in the move to the upside, right? And this is why I've been telling people, like, look, if you want to not play the moves and get caught in the chop, run spot into the next bull, right? And that's always like the safest I would say play for a lot of retail and stuff like that. But we could remain on this lower end. I don't know what's going on. My thing won't let me draw on this, but we could remain on this lower end for an extended amount of time. If you look here, we basically stay down here for like a year and a half, right? And that's where the crypto market ran while we just ran sideways essentially right here in this area to look for that breakout.
I was wondering
And
about that because it didn't line up perfectly with Bitcoin's tops and bottoms. Does it line up with altcoins? Maybe more closely correlated.
yeah,
I'm curious about that.
well, I don't know. I'd arguably say it kind of does line up with Bitcoin's tops and bottoms because if you look here, the very low was kind of like your peak formation high in crypto. And I would say that from a strength standpoint, not price, strength standpoint, right? So if you were to go to Bitcoin and look at January of 21, that was your highest strength position in the market. It
Right.
never got any higher as far as strength from there. From there, strength continued to drop. And then that's where we kind of chop sideways. And if you look here, we pretty much played out the whole year kind of in this liquidity zone, right? This whole liquidity zone, the lower portion of the W. And then after that, you get into October. And then from there, you break out. And then the market starts to nuke, right? And nuke 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 all the way up. And then the market starts to reverse up here. And where did it reverse? Does that not line up with the exact bottom of where a lot of people got in?
It did, and I
October.
like that you brought up the aspect of strength, Will, because the topic of when exactly the crypto bull market ended is something that I kind of will contend with people. I think the true top was actually in the spring of 2021, and both the volume and momentum kind of backed that idea up. So yes, even though we made a second high, I guess so from that standpoint, like correlated with Bitcoin's strength, yes, it does line up perfectly. But the part that threw me off was that the dollar was starting to slowly break out of that consolidation as Bitcoin was trading back towards 68, 70K.
And this was kind of before I was like discovered, for instance, right? But I was having this discussion literally 6 months into 2021 with people. And I was like, look, I was like, we have not structurally broken down. We're kind of on a really good support trend. I don't think we continue bulling right at these highs. I think that the market tends to want to cool down. And once you caught this W, right? And this is where I started telling people, like, look, right here in this area, I was like, this is a W. Like, you guys cannot deny it. Like, look, boom, boom, boom. Like, once you're here, that's a W. It's going to break, right? It's going to shoot up. It's going to reverse. This is a complete reversal of the market right here.
So Will, can
And-
you do me a favor here, man? Because I know you
Yeah.
got a good chart for this. Can you take off like your stochastic and your RSI and replace that with a Bitcoin chart, and just draw a nice little loose roadmap for us on where you could see Bitcoin moving over the next couple years in tandem with DXY?
Yeah, let me say, I'm gonna do something real quick because it won't even let me draw on that one. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, so we'll open this one, and then so we'll just hide. You want to hide RSI and
Yeah,
uh,
let's get rid of those and let's
I
put
don't
up
see them on here.
so you'd have
Right.
to do it down. Yeah, you'd
We'll
have
just
to
do
do it
that.
down there.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So we get rid of those, and then you wanted to do. Oh yeah, this is the correct chart because I got it right
Yeah,
here.
and then in
Yeah, see, I already started drawing it.
the upper
Okay.
left corner, can you just add Bitcoin USD?
Yep. So you want to just
Just
add
plus, yeah, plus, and then
BTC USD,
yeah.
and then
Like
you want to
Bitstamp.
do
That's a new pane to the right.
a new one, right? Our new pane.
Yeah,
Okay.
new pane. It'll just drop it down there for you, and then click the right, make it log. Like click the price scale for it.
For this one,
Right click
or
it,
for the
yeah,
dollar.
for Bitcoin,
Oh yeah.
and make it log.
Yeah, it's already unlocked.
No, it's not. The Bitcoin one?
Yeah.
That's definitely not log.
Oh no, that top one's unlocked. Hold on.
Yeah, there you go. And then maybe you could,
And then-
if you double click the orange line, you can make it candles instead. It doesn't really matter, but if you want to look at it that way. Style.
And
Style. And then line, instead of line, do candles. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so can you just, what do you think's going to happen here? What's the next like year going to look like for DXY and Bitcoin?
This was well,
Bitcoin's on the move, by the way. Here we go. Come on,
Yeah.
baby.
This right here is your January. Look, that's your Pico high for strength, and I can line that up with an RSI and show you. Right? Actually, I think that'd be a good idea. I think it'd actually be good to have an RSI on here, just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Because this is what I was looking at for markets. Like this right here, what this was your like Pico high for strength for Bitcoin. Yeah, dollar. Oh, it's pulling strength off this. Dang it. Okay, I'd have to do it the other way around, but that's fine. So this is your Pico high for strength on Bitcoin. And actually, we'll just go here. Store. And we'll look at it from here. This is your monthly right here. And if you look at January, and this is where I knew the market was screwed, right? And especially on this double top, because you had the bearish div playing out to a T, right? Not only did you have the bearish div playing out to a T, you had your January high, which was right here, and that was like your Pico top, and then you kind of continue to run from there all the way up to the highs, right? Up to the top end. Now, where you kind of saw that top better was what? Was it on the monthly? It was on the weekly. That's where you saw that top better. And that's what a lot of people tend to miss out, right? So the monthly can continue to show true strength and stuff like that, but the weekly was your highest point of interest right here. And from the weekly, you continue to trend down and down and down. So strength lined up with the date, with the date given right there, January, right? January, right here, January. That was your bottom, your Pico bottom of the dollar, and then you kind of ran over and you continue.
And by the way, that aligns with what Tommy was saying, where like the true Bitcoin top was 64K, not 69K, because DXY was well off of its bottom for that 69K top, which again was predominantly perps driven rather than spot.
Yeah, exactly. And that's your January move right there, right? But as far as the market itself, like this, your breakout was here. And I'm getting to answering your question. So the breakout was like right above here, right? So like as soon as you got above here, you have to start to really be concerned about where you're playing in the market. And so once we got above here and found support, I was like, market's going to reverse from there, right? And if you
Bitcoin's
look,
moving, fella. Bitcoin's moving.
that was the Pico high, right? That was the very freaking top the second we got above here, right? I don't. We'll look at Bitcoin real quick.
Be moving.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
moving.
30.
We might have to move to the lower time frames, man, if we get the breakout here.
Breakout's going to be above here on the weekly, man. I'm telling you.
I'll do
But
it's,
yeah,
it's looking ready.
it's looking good, isn't it?
On the
So-
topic of the DXY pulling back for potentially another like 6 to 8 months, I really wanted Tucker to kind of share the chart that he sent last night. You know what I'm talking about, right, Tucker?
Yeah. Wait, come over here real quick. I'll show that in a second. But come over here. I got something else juicy.
Hold
for
on.
you
Let
guys.
me just finish this real quick. So that was our top.
Gosh.
That was our bottom. We obviously dipped a little lower. And then this is our dollar reversing against it. Like you can see the inverse, right, of the move right here. So
Dude, what if the floor literally just like freaking gives out on DXY?
what
and
I'm
all
thinking,
these guys are right, and Bitcoin goes all time high before the halving.
well, see my line right here? What I'm
Yeah.
thinking is that right there is where we'll hit right here. And
Yeah.
then that same position is kind of where we'll find support right here.
Oh, I see. So you're not thinking DXY is going to capitulate. You think we'll probably even put in a bounce here,
Or just
or
run
like a little bit
sideways.
lower. Yeah.
Yep. Because here's the thing. This capitulation, it's going to retest, right? And on that retest, it's going to pull back. And on that pullback, it's going to break out because that retest is going to be a capitulation.
All right. Let's
That's
move
my
over
thoughts,
to
but
big.
go ahead.
Let's move over to big country Tuck. Oh boy. Oh my.
Yeah, I've been doing some work in the background.
Take me on a tour here, man. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. So we got M2, we got Bitcoin, we've got Dixie, and we've got net liquidity. As you can see, net liquidity and M2 track pretty close. We were talking about Dixie, right? And the last time Dixie broke down from 100, M2 was going up, net liquidity was going up, and therefore Bitcoin rocketed. That was the bull run, right? Because I was looking at it and I was like, okay, last time Dixie broke down from 100, we went on a bull run. And I was like, wait, what was liquidity doing? What were other things doing? So broke down, M2 up, net liquidity up, Dixie down, Bitcoin up, right? We're in a completely different regime. Money supply is decreasing, liquidity is decreasing, dollar is decreasing. I mean, I don't know. Like Bitcoin needs liquidity and it needs inflation, and neither of those things are trending right now, right? I worry that if we get dollar continuing to decline with money supply declining and liquidity declining, that spells disaster for Bitcoin.
Well, Tucker,
That's not how a
That's-
bull run starts.
I
That's
want to
interesting.
explain your thesis specifically, right? That all plays exactly into what I'm saying, right? Dollar bounces, the liquidity continues to drain out, Bitcoin then pulls back, and then all those start to reverse, right? Your money supply starts to reverse, all your other stuff starts to reverse, and you can see it because you're in a solid downtrend on everything, right? That downtrend is lagging behind assets right now. But the real takeoff for all that will be when all the assets pull back. That'll be your re-entry, and people will be looking to take in a reposition. Then you'll see money supply start to pick up. You'll see stimulating start to pick up. You'll see all these things start to pick up as assets are starting to pull back.
No, for sure. I agree. Like, I think like short-term price action, I still think we go up before we go down, but this is basically the case against the new bull run has
Yeah,
already
yeah.
started, right? Like,
100%.
not
100%.
Yeah, no, we agree. We agree. Yeah, I think it's just crazy to think that like, excluding money supply and liquidity and just looking at Dixie and Bitcoin and being like, oh yeah, new bull run. Like that is so like
It's a
left
little
curve,
like it's
I mean,
short-sighted, it's not painting the whole picture,
yeah,
you know.
Well,
not
that's
at
a
all.
perfect analogy,
It's a
Max.
different
I
regime.
love that right there, what you just said. It's not painting the whole picture. And that's what a lot of bulls are doing right now, right? Not saying we're not bulled up. I'm just saying a lot of bulls are not painting the whole picture. They're literally just saying up only. They're not telling you that, hey, you're probably gonna take some down hits relatively in the short term, right? They're not able, they're not willing to say that because it's not trendy. So I love the fact that you brought that up specifically.
You want to do this one, Tommy? Is this what you wanted?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I feel like one of the prevailing themes that we've been discussing on this show was how the similarity of this current year to 2008 is more so in the fact that, you know, we've come off of this massive bubble and now we're experiencing this run up in the wake of it. And it's mostly due to positional mechanics that are kind of pushing us higher, as well as, just this constant bid that we are out of the woods. And lo and behold, what year are we tracking most closely to? It's 2008. So I just thought that was pretty wild for me to view that yesterday, Tucker. But it also lines up very well, I think, with Dr. Outlook's thesis, which kind of has the dollar potentially bleeding for, maybe another 6 to 8 months. It does appear like we have more time before a sell-off than, would meet the eye potentially.
It also
Yeah.
lines up with the double top spy thesis too.
Yes.
It gives us time to make it there. You know,
David
I
Hunter was
think
right.
I think we're on borrowed time. That's
yeah,
the best way to
100%.
put it. Is like, yeah, that's like we can all have fun right now and just long a bunch of companies that might not be around 2 years from now and long Bitcoin, for the extra 10 to 15% that maybe it has left in the tank. Um, but I think we're on borrowed time, unfortunately. And I think the next 12 to 18 months following this next impulse on equities and crypto is going to put the nail in the coffin for a lot of people, because I think most people out there believe that the worst is behind them. And I actually think 2022 was like the test dump, unfortunately. And even if we don't go on to make significantly new lows beyond the 2022 lows for Bitcoin and also equities, this next drop back down there after feeling like the worst is over is going to feel much worse because it happened a second time and we haven't really gone on to make new wealth beyond the peak that we had in 2021. So I think we're on borrowed time, like enjoy the casino while it continues, because I think it's going to be years before we see like serious QE, low interest rates, and like excess in these markets again. Borrowed time.
What if they nuke it so bad that we have to get QE again, Max? What is the and that's how we kind of get our waves of inflation narrative throughout the decade as well.
I've thought about that too. Again, I think it's a thread the needle situation where, yes, that's going to be the easy solution. But then the real question you have to ask is, okay, if we go on and print so much money to just like resolve this issue quickly, rather than letting the market naturally heal itself and accept that there are cycles to these markets that we trade, we potentially risk having inflation come back, and then you have a repeat of 2021, 2022, and it's just like there's something to be said about just like letting nature heal. And I'm a large advocate of just like the free market. And yes, we all love QE, we all love zero interest rates. But I think it's a slippery slope to just perpetually continue the cycle of money printing, lower interest rates, and then hike to prevent hyperinflation and have a Fed engineered recession. I don't want a repeat of 2020 to 2022. Like I'm actually more of an advocate long term, somebody looking to build a longer term portfolio. Let's just get this recession out of the way. Let's let the Fed engineer the recession. And then we'll slowly let things heal and then slowly taper back into money printing and lowering interest rates rather than like on off. Money printer full on, interest rates 0 to hike into oblivion, money printer off, selling the balance sheet. It's like these extremes are going to cause something to snap. So I think, yeah, that's it. Go ahead.
I don't know that
Arguably,
there's-
though,
What's that, Tommy?
yeah.
I don't know that there's another way, or at least there are other ways, but there's not really another American way, I don't think, to really fix the market than that.
It's very
Arguably-
American. Excess, man. Excess.
Arguably, I would say that the market always rebalances itself, whether the government wants to try and manufacture or not, and that's shown through SPY, right? The SPY has shown multiple times where the market has came in through a presidential election or whatnot and tried to self-manufacture itself into a healthy looking market and then rebalance later. And I think like when you look at 00 to 08, I think 08 is a direct result from 2000, right? Trying to save 2000, pushed us into the 08 disaster.
U.S. judge rules Ripple is not a security.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's
Hey.
go.
Okay.
But hold on, is that the judge or a judge?
Holy cow. What's the
Okay.
market
Oh
like?
my
Okay.
God.
What's Ripple at right now? 57.
22% off.
Wow. All right, pay attention to this pump. If it retraces, market's cooked in the short term.
No, but hold on. Here's the question.
Holy Wow.
Is that the judge that is in charge of the case or a judge? That's the question.
I'm pretty sure it's the judge.
If
Yeah.
it's the judge, that's good.
That's
Dude.
sick. Oh
Oh, dude,
man.
this is going to be the biggest sell-off you've ever seen. When this thing gets
Let
up
it-
there,
let
man.
the XRP
$5.
astronauts enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
They I mean they held the worst performing asset of an entire bull run, like a generational bull run. Let them have their
A
moment.
couple of them, couple of bull runs.
Dude. Okay.
Man.
Okay. Dude, this is bullish for all those. This is bullish for all the other cryptos that were named recently by Gensler as a security.
Yep.
All coins are popping off,
pull
guys.
up Algo. Let's see what Algo's doing because that was one of them.
All those, what are they called? What is the name? of all
OX
those-
up
what are they called?
20% today, baby.
Really?
I know.
Hell yeah. Right after I added live on stream yesterday.
Dollar's gonna dump. Bitcoin's almost at 31.
None of the
Yeah.
other, what are
Good
they
morning,
called?
guys.
That like group of payments. What are they called?
Morning after we all punted longs yesterday at the lows.
We did do that.
Yeah.
Oh, miners are gonna blow too.
Huh?
Mara's at 1858.
Oh. Hunt.
Yep, miners are gonna blow up from
What?
that.
Dude. We are
This should
printing right
catalyze a
now.
big move, man. I hope it catalyzes a bigger
Yeah.
move, but
Come on, CFX. Come on.
Dude, is this the time to just long every single altcoin right now?
I don't know. But I don't know if you saw my active positions channel, Max. I
Max.
literally so long 2 minutes before that.
Ev-
God, came.
Everybody
Dude,
was
me
sitting
too.
there asking.
Well, I was a little earlier, but yeah.
Everybody's asking what'll catalyze the pump for the next move. There you go.
This.
If
There's
this
your
isn't
pump.
the catalyst for the next move, that's a problem, in my opinion.
That's your
Why-
catalyst for the next pump.
Okay, Bitcoin's approaching 31.
Yep, it's just gonna run.
Dude, is it compound time? It might be compound time.
Bybit still got negative funding, boys.
A
now.
historic.
Squeeze them.
No
Make it
way.
fair.
Let's go.
Let's make
It's
America.
over.
Okay.
It's
All right.
over for the Bybit bears.
It's time, baby.
Wow.
Help them push through resistance here, boys. Everyone hit the green button. There we go.
Yes, yes, the higher lows. Will, I was
The
very
higher
happy
low.
when you pointed that out on Monday because I also believe that is the single most like telling thing of a bullish structure up here is you're seeing these higher lows print after multiple wipes.
And it was high time frame too. A lot of people
Literally
just weren't
ate
looking
right
at it.
here. This is literally where we got long right there.
That was the BB bottom.
We literally, yeah, this is the BB bottom right here.
Dude, and
The red
OX, we
bottom.
literally formed the bottom on that too, man.
Let me wow.
Wow,
Tough,
here
man.
we go.
Dude.
Come on, baby.
This was
Just
where we
go.
originally formed the OX
Oh, that's
bottom.
Ox. Jeez.
Yeah,
bro.
baby.
You know what
Bro,
I
I
didn't
got in.
realize with,
I got in
with
at the
OX?
bottom there. At the freaking bottom, I got in. And we were talking about that. Max, you're like, "Are you getting them?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "It's at my support."
Yeah.
I didn't realize OX had perps on it.
That's crazy.
OX has
I
perps?
didn't know
Yeah, like that candle was from shorts closing.
Where
You
can you
sure?
trade perps on OX?
I guess on OX,
Oh,
On OX.
I mean, that would make sense. Yeah.
but I saw a chart where open interest got juiced earlier today, so I'm guessing that Kyle and Suzu send their regards.
As they should.
Bro.
Why would you ever short OX, man? I don't even
Why would you
understand.
short a yeah? Why would you short a token where the liquidity is primarily on chain?
I mean, dude, these guys are literally just painting right now. Like this chart is trading so technically. Like,
I love it, man.
Dude, I should have longed
master
more
painter.
soul. I should have longed way more soul. What am I doing, man? Holy crap. Here we go, boys. This is going to be the liftoff. Go to
And it happened
Bitcoin.
live on the
Here's the
stream.
off. Come on, CFX.
Bro. Like,
That chart looks insane, man.
Oh, gross, man.
Look at that pennant breakout. What do you
Chinese
say?
Matic.
What do you say? I really would like a close.
Is it time to long some Pepe,
Hey.
man? It might be. Pepe hasn't moved yet, really. Yeah, I'm gonna long some Pepe.
I was in that yesterday, man. I'm the low.
Dude, I think I need to get in some Pepe.
Tommy,
Hasn't
I'm gonna
moved
need you to
yet.
go ahead and pump my tweet there.
What is that?
Your tweet.
203. Okay.
Did you shill my bags? Hashtag my bags.
My boys, we're doing it. We're getting there. We're getting
watch us harshly reject from 31K on stream as well.
No, we're gonna get to 37 and it just completely duke.
This should be the catalyst here.
37.
Like
That's
this really.
Hagrid's over there laughing. He's like, watch,
always-
watch Hagrid.
I
This-
always
this should
thought
be the
that
move.
XRP maxis were super cringe during the bull run when I first got started in crypto, but I'm very happy to see them win this case.
Yes, same.
If we harshly reject from 31K again, I'm just gonna laugh, man.
Boom.
Don't even say that. We gotta go, baby.
I'm hedging my bullishness.
No, we can't reject. We can't do it.
What is a
Dude.
rejection?
I mean, dude, this whole area is just a nightmare.
Oh no, come on.
Oh, we did that.
Oh,
man.
it's a low volatility regime, guys. It's unlikely we're just gonna turbo rip, but
You take your
No,
pessimism
we're-
somewhere else, okay?
oh man, don't you do this to me, Bitcoin. Fractal said we moved on Saturday, Sunday. That was what I was expecting. A little early for that.
Could the market handle another rejection?
Yeah, I can handle another rejection. It's just like it's protecting the lows and it's a slow grind up
Until it pops.
until it pops. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see like that maybe.
Hey, those higher lows though, man. Tell me that was like a GOAT play right there. A lot of people were ignoring that, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if we got
There were a lot of things that were kind of pointing towards being bearish, during yesterday's breakdown. Even some of like my smartest trader friends were getting, kind of bearish because the structure looked, I mean, to be fair, it looked horrible. And if you're a momentum trader, moving averages and an RSI both looked very ready to roll over. But, one of the things that I've learned about trading momentum is that you have to be really careful about the tools that you use in a range because they can be a little misleading. Momentum's great when you're trending, but when you're ranging, they can give you a lot of false signals. You agree with that, Will?
100%. Well, I was just fading the market really because like everybody, just like you were saying, like a lot of good traders I was watching, bear. This is the high. This is where you reject. This is where you stop. Everybody sell here. You're gonna get your pull back here. Look at the consolidation, right? And I'm just like, dude, it's higher low, higher low, higher low. What are you guys smoking? And that's higher time frame too. Like, because I think what everybody was looking at was like what Hagrid has there, right? They're looking at that channel across, and they're not paying attention to the structure that's currently forming. And the currently forming structure was the key. It was the key.
As long as that structure maintains, I have to assume that we're going to break higher from this range first. But
Yeah, we still got to get up.
I'll say though, guys, I think that when we hit 32, within like a day or two, we're going to be back in the 29s. That's kind of my bold prediction for the next high. I think we're going to have a big wipe after that high.
I think
So what you think
31.5.
like? So you think like 32 back to like 30.8, then higher, or are we done after that?
No, I mean like 32.5 back down to like low 29s. And then we can deduce from there. Yeah.
Do you want me to
But
ruin
look,
your idea?
Look, we're building up liquidity on both sides of the range. We're gonna run both sides of liquidity, and we're building liquidity for longs different than we're building shorts. And when we swipe at longs, we're gonna take them all in one go.
Take all
So-
these guys. Yeah.
Tucker, can you put it on the weekly real quick?
Leverage longs with stops below that range are still gonna get swept, in my opinion, before you see like if you're gonna see 30s.
Can you draw a line off the previous highs over there, right around April?
Talking about here.
Nope.
Here.
April. Yep, right there.
Yeah.
Body candles. Draw a line in the body.
Dude, I want that.
If we
monthly
go up to
FEG on
32,
Bitcoin.
what do you think about that?
That line?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe deviate below it and then just slam a reclaim long.
Could deviate, but I think that's your support right there, or that's your confirmation if you do deviate, right? You let it go below. If it goes below, as soon as it breaks back above, you're in a long position.
Whoa.
The pattern almost looks like a prolonged version of, actually, no, I'm not going to say that because that'd be too much FUD. I'm not going to say that.
Oh, come on. Don't tease us like that. Tommy, let's go.
No, I'm not going to say that. It almost looks like a prolonged version of if you switch the daily, Tucker, and then go to price action from, I would guess, August 2021 to mid-September. Maybe, yeah. You see that top that we formed? It almost looks like a drawn out version of that.
Yeah.
You
I mean, look,
imagine?
there's a way to draw similarities between where we're at right now and every major distribution on the Bitcoin chart, unfortunately. I've
But
done
I
it with
will say
everyone.
I think there's that argument too, though, where you could get the Q or the Q3, Q4 run up driven by another ETF, catalyst. So don't know what that looks like for Bitcoin, but
Bro, let's look at ETH. Let's see how predatory ETH is right
And
now.
hey, real quick, I gotta ask the audience. We're at 14 likes right now, guys. You guys really showed up yesterday. I won't be as greedy as yesterday. Let's just see if we can get to like. I mean, I'd love 22. I'd love 22 likes today. Truthfully, we're at 14. If you guys are enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider supporting the channel by liking this video. It does wonders for the algorithm, helps push our content even further. Yeah, guys, thanks again for being here, as always. Back to you guys.
Look, this looks more similar. We're just not getting, the same boost that we had all this free money and whatever back here, right? I think
We haven't got that spike yet. We got to get that first spike and then that top and then a second spike.
you know what I'm saying. Maybe we're chilling right here.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
spot.
There you
That's
go.
the spot.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the spot. That's exactly
Yeah.
it, man.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's
Just take-
exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I like that.
just brought a cricket into my apartment.
A cricket?
Uh,
So you brought one in?
the
Brought a
gift.
cricket and was doing that thing cats do where they like play torture their prey.
Oh, it's not play. I promise. I've seen my cat do it. It's torture.
I mean, dude, what is this? This is a nightmare.
I mean, if you look at what we just drew there, you're basically above support.
That is
Oh
mental.
man, Bitcoin with a harsh rejection, man. That's brutal. Come on, baby.
No,
It
no,
wouldn't
this
shock
this
me
is
if we come back to like 30.3, man.
you
I
guys
want
got
our
to look at
value
it.
area high to hold. Just stay above the value area high, and that's
Look,
fine.
Yeah.
you guys got to look at it like a slingshot, right? It goes up, hits, it's got to pull back to hit again, right? It's trying to shove through those sellers. That's all
I'm
it's trying to
looking
do.
for something more like this.
I will say if you are a seller and you have a short above like 31K, why do you assume that's safe at this point, given how many times they've let you short it?
Yeah, I know, right?
The number of people on my feed, like I will say there was part of my conviction to go long yesterday was there was a random account that came on my For You page that just said, why do people get upset when people try to position for a flush? And I'm like, I've never seen you catch a big bearish move before. So I should definitely be getting long here.
Bro, that OX move is nuts, man. Like,
As
that
it
is
should be.
insane.
As it
Yeah.
should be.
Bunch of chads forming bottom.
Jeez. Literally caught the bottom of that move, man. Look, we got to catch that video where I talk about where it's going to come in, man. We got to get that clip.
I think
Fill
you
it
were
up.
pointing, I think you were pointing more so down here.
Hey, I said that was my first target. All right. And then I said the second target was the low there. That's if it goes any lower than that, it's going to zero. But then, it definitely did not happen.
Yeah, she's gonna rip. She's
I
gonna
love
rip
that, man.
faces.
Can you imagine if we like, I mean, it's just kind of hard for me to fathom the possibility that, equity markets might not, that they could have a topping and then distribution pattern of another 200 days, essentially, if it plays out exactly like 2008, where does that leave crypto?
I'm just curious, like, man, I'm so euphoric up here. I'm not going to lie, but I'm just curious, like, at this point, man, like, what case do Bears have right now? Like, you've been seeing green the entire year. Like, I know expectations for a pullback in Q4 is there. I can get on board with that. But like, how do you sit there and not play the move if you're a trader, right? I don't know, man. Like, and I'm not at all trying to like talk crap about Bears. Obviously, I was on the Bears side in January for sure. But you gotta recognize.
You're right though, Will. How do you call yourself a trader and then you've had essentially like one directional price action all year and you're still preaching bearish, which I think there's different levels of bearishness, right? You have
There is
people
100%.
like SZ and XO who are really more so just defensively bearish because they expect better opportunities to become investors, and then you have people who are just materially bearish on I think everything that those people are the ones who look the worst in this because they still haven't pivoted in July.
Yeah. And really, I think a lot of them will be participants, but I think they'll be participants at the highest Pico point.
Right. Top tick Rivian.
You know what it is, Will? They're afraid to be the top tick. They're afraid to buy the top because they've been higher way up. So now they've psychologically convinced themselves, I will never buy the top. And they don't know where the top is. So they just keep coping and telling themselves the top is being actively put in on every single move higher. And it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy that you're seeing, but it is very interesting.
I think a lot of those people participate above all-time high. A lot of them do, right? Because then at that point, it's like, what are you calling a top now? Because there's no top. There's no top to come back to.
What if there was no top?
I mean, technically speaking, there isn't, right? Technically speaking, things can continue parabolic forever. It's just at what speed.
There's what we're always trying to chase. Much that I want more than Bitcoin to go to 33K today. I'm just done with this range, and like this should be it right here. Like this, you've got your catalyst. You've got your bid-ask side imbalance right now. Funding is still negative on some of the worst exchanges. This should be it.
Well, the thing is, Max, is they can't make it obvious, right? So I still am in the camp that this thing goes next week, right? I don't know if we talked about it on the show.
I can't handle my heart can't handle another one of those. Good.
But I think we stay above support here, and support for me is 30,000, basically 30,300. I think we stay above that. We open the weekly, we come back, we retest
And we just closed the
30,300 and
4 hour.
blast off.
We just closed the 4 hour, boys.
That's not a
Ooh,
bad 4 hour, honestly.
Not a bad 4 hour.
Yeah.
Not a bad 4 hour. Now let's backfill that wick.
That's kind of a higher high, isn't it, on body candles? And on wicks.
I mean,
Yeah,
we had
12
4 hour losses, so
here.
we get 6 hours. Not even daily.
I mean, that's a nice build. I like that build up there. Higher low after higher low after higher low, and we're continuing to make higher highs too. Building out of the channel.
Yeah, she's got some juice in the tank.
Yeah.
See, man,
I think so.
like I said, I still think we could rotate back towards 30.3, but I think yesterday set the low locally.
Yeah, it's man. That's pretty crazy. I'll tell you that. I mean, as big a market cap as XRP is, like I haven't been super bullish on it because I know how money works and I know how much liquidity it take to move price. But like I'm happy for the crypto market because I think this is bullish on crypto market.
Will, that was like you saying, I like XRP, but I'm not bullish on it because I'm not stupid. That was what it felt like you just said. No, XRP pumps, man. It gives some of the gnarliest green candles. So I will say that.
Wait, let's.
Yeah,
let's
what's XRP
check
doing?
again? Oh wow.
Now I'm gonna get fudded on Twitter. Watch
65 is the
They're gonna be like you're hating on XRP.
They're gonna have to rebalance some of that move, man. There's literally no liquidity in that order book right now, I would guess. It would be a problem if you retrace the entire pump, though, for sure. But this, I mean, this is a pretty, from like a just, you know, non-XRP standpoint, this does, you know, give you a pretty good idea of not just on altcoins, but Bitcoin spot ETF probably has a much higher chance of approval as well. Or maybe the two aren't related at all. What do you guys think about that?
Check in real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just in a general sense, I think it's great for the space. Because now we have additional regulatory framework around what could be a security and what could potentially not be a security. Bitcoin was really, it was never up for debate that Bitcoin was a security anyways. But I think it also, like, if the first like mainstream case for the SEC going after Ripple or XRP as being a security and the SEC loses, I think it shows that the SEC really, their bark is a lot more intimidating than their bite in this case, at least in terms of crypto. So, you know, I think eventually, you know, you've got powerhouses like BlackRock trying to enter the space and facilitate the sale of spot Bitcoin through an ETF. So I just have to assume it's overall good. Like, it's, you know, things work even if not directly, indirectly, or passively through momentum. And this is big for momentum for the crypto space. So I think it can only help.
What are you guys' thoughts on all those ones they called securities that haven't moved yet?
Well, they called Solana a security or potential security, and it's up 10% off this news. So I think you could argue or make the argument that there was some price suppression because of the language used around some of these coins. And yeah, I mean, we should see a recovery. I mean, we're already seeing one, which is great, you know. But I really want to see Bitcoin do something here. Like, oh man, another stab at range highs would be so annoying to see it reject here. I think maybe flush out the really late longs, like the guys that just longed above 31. Let's flush them out. They'll puke at like 30.7 and then run it back.
Yep. That's what the pullback is right there. It's a pullback to rip out those longs before it goes.
Imagine we pull back to like 30.3 again. I'm gonna, like, I think it might happen, man. Dude, and it'd be funny.
I'll be so mad though. Oh my god. I'm just done with this range, you know? Like I'm just done with the range, man. Like let's just
Only
exit
one
the
more week,
range.
Max. One more week. You'll be good.
Just
Next week it breaks out.
It's tedious.
They
This
just
this
need
is how
to
they get
go.
people out of their positions though.
They just
I'm
need
not
to
selling.
let it go.
I'm
Just
not
let it
selling.
ride.
I could see alts, if Bitcoin does pull back, I could see alts holding their structures a lot more effectively than Bitcoin. Because this is probably a signal for people to bid altcoins. What does Bitcoin dominance look like right now, Tucker?
Ooh.
Oh,
Take a dive. Taking a
that might be it
dive.
for Bitcoin dominance, man, at least for until a deeper pullback. Maybe I should have longed ETH instead of Bitcoin.
Dude,
I'll
that's
tell
what I
you
was
this,
thinking,
you do
man.
not want to see that drop below 50. You see
I
that drop
don't
below 50, that's gonna be bad.
I don't think that
Going higher.
I don't
It's
think
going
that this I think this is a very short term period of altcoin outperformance for Bitcoin. I don't think this is going to be like a long lasting rotation where alts just pummel Bitcoin. But of course, off of this news, why would altcoins not pick up a little bit? You know, let's form a higher low on Bitcoin dominance. Let's have. I mean, I could see ETH BTC rallying back to. I mean, dude, it could put in a big move here. You know, like I could see it come back to 0.066, you know, something like that, another lower high. So yeah, I mean, it could certainly outperform here for a bit, which is why I'm chasing beta right now. You know, like I've got some altcoin exposure, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna last that long. But also
What's
something to consider too, like if we do get some pullbacks here, like we've all seen ETH just be predatory as hell. I don't think you're gonna see that with Bitcoin. I could see ETH playing some games though.
ETH has had some short buildup on OKX over the last like week or so that I've been paying attention to. It wouldn't even shock me if you see some sort of like that the notorious demon candle to the upside that ETH likes to do.
look at ETH.
It's doing it right now.
But I'm not gonna I hate guaranteeing anything on ETH because the volatility on it is so trash that you know it'll probably just mean revert tomorrow.
No,
Every time
2200, bro.
Look
2200
at all
in
the,
the
I
charts,
guarantee
man.
you,
I agree, it's
bro.
going to 2200 eventually.
Yeah.
I guarantee you all the people were calling for this, and then that's
At
just
shoulders.
100%.
boom. Just break your little pattern. Wow. Love to see it.
Patterns play, but you got to be on the right side of the pattern. That's the issue, right? A lot of people try to call out head and shoulders too early. They like to call out, you know, inverse head and shoulders too early. There's a lot of that in the market too.
Where do you even draw this like range, dude? What a terrible range. Just awful. Like, where do you even? What are we doing?
It's basically a double deviation. Look at it. It deviated high, then deviated low.
You're literally just doing this. Like, are we gonna get this? Then
It's just gonna pop. It's gonna do exactly what it did when it made the high in April, where it's just gonna run up, take the highs, and then it's gonna go right back into the range.
yeah,
Stop it. Stop with your FUD. It's going to 3,000.
going to 3.
We will wake up to 3,000.
And who wants to have their Ethereum at $3,000 when they can make 5% on a staking yield to short ETH volatility?
A great point.
And I know it's technically greater than 5%. That's why they're shorting the volatility, but I feel obligated to make that joke anyway. But I mean, do you kind of view, Tucker, what do you think about viewing ETH and the volatility trade almost like you view bonds, where do you think fund managers will kind of look at ETH and say, okay, my expectation of return on ETH is X this year. I don't think that's going to outperform the staking yield. Let's just short the crap out of volatility and you know, the alternative to that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't. Like, it's a theoretically, it's a fantastic instrument for like these big institutions. Not just staking it, because if you stake it and you like, sell calls or short volatility, then you're basically getting 25 to 30% with like minimal risk and still staying long. And it's like, yeah, what are the odds ETH is gonna like? It's not a super effective strategy in like an up only environment, but like this whole year, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. Like it's literally paid massively in a year like 2023. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll take a lot for them to view it as like a bond because it's like, but it is some like safe passive ROI if they just want to like dip their toes in.
You know
'Cause
what's a
that's a-
safe?
that's
You
a
know what's a
strategy
safe
to pay
passive
down.
ROI?
Huh.
Pepe.
Oh, I knew it was gonna go there. I knew it.
Look at ETH. How are you going to look at ETH and see Pepe is underperforming ETH yet? It just is completely
Oh.
lagging.
Let
Pepe's
me-
been
let me-
performing. Pepe's been
Or with the
performing like a
SEC
5
right now.
times leveraged ETF without any risk of contango or decay. It's going to catch up. It's going to squeeze.
Look, if we want to talk about real charts, all right, you know where I'm going. You know where this conversation is going.
Hang on.
Starts
I
with
want
an
to see
E
Tucker. Do
and
not
it ends
say
with
it.
an F.
Oh my gosh. Tucker, do you believe?
I believe. Let's see what the fractal says, whether we believe or not.
Do not say
We might have
That
run out of
fractal's not
time.
playing out, man.
I think we ran out of time on the fractal, but
That chart is hilarious looking.
yeah. You
Close
could say
enough,
that-
man.
Here, you know what, Tucker? Look, grab Elf and overlay it on top of Pepe.
Bro. I think
Hey,
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see the look here. Let's see it. Let's run them against. Let's run an Elf Pepe.
I got it on.
What's it call it? Combo there.
I guess XRP has been somebody's been TWAPing spot since the beginning of May.
Bro, these guys. This is crazy.
I love this space.
Doesn't work, man. Doesn't work.
It doesn't work. How we looking there?
The hell I mean,
My
I don't
LDO.
know.
Hold on, something's messed up there. Go on the weekly or
Oh,
monthly.
man. Tucker, we're getting that breakout on LDO we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, see, they match. Look at that.
It's just the shit going.
That has to be the wrong elf, man. Elf never
Yeah.
had pullbacks.
Elf doesn't pull back.
Tommy, are you invested in LDO?
Yeah, no, I slammed LDO the other day at 1.9.
I know, I remember. I was hoping you were still holding those
Yeah,
strong hands.
there's a reason I bought Spot. It's notorious. You can look at that chart and guess how perps trading typically goes.
Terrible.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna point something out real quick. All right, I got into OX. All right, because you guys asked me to, so I waited for price to get to where I wanted. So when are you guys gonna get into elf? That's the real question.
Will, you're
Dude,
not
Will,
into elf.
You waited to get into OX until we were buying OX in here, brother.
Hey, I still got good price. What do you mean?
Yeah, it could have been better
Still
though.
have the better entry.
Look,
See how
I gotta
that
make
works?
sure. All right, I gotta make sure. I gotta watch the charts, and the charts have to prove.
Wait, what did you say to look at? Somebody said something.
Yeah, elf.
No.
He said
No,
no.
I don't want to look at elf. Oh god.
All right, we're done. That was it.
Hey guys, we've been going for about 70 minutes now. I think it's about time. It's about
Yeah,
time.
we can go ahead and wrap things up. How many likes did we get?
We got 22. They got it exactly what I asked for. No more, no
You guys
less.
rock. Thank you guys. If we could get to 25 likes before we close out the video here, that would be awesome. But no biggie if not. Uh, big ups to everybody who showed up to the stream today. Big ups to everybody who was at the stream yesterday. You know, we appreciate your support, and so does the algo. I know. Like and subscribe to the video if you haven't already, and you know, if you really enjoyed the content that you've been seeing from us this week, we do have you know, some more intimate access to our trading and, you know, our takes on the market through our Discord, our newsletter, our premium articles, and our website. And we have links to those in the link tree of our Twitter, as well as the description of our of this YouTube video. Our Discord, we have a free week trial as well. So, you know, no problem testing it out and just seeing what we're about. But yeah, no, guys, pretty cool stuff. A huge win for XRP. Very, very cool to see if you're a big fan of this space. I can't wait to see how this all kind of resolves into the end of the afternoon and the rest of the week. But you know, from a contextual standpoint, when you're talking about altcoins, this does, you know, change a lot of things. This was, I mean, case law is huge in court. You know, when you establish precedents, that cannot be understated. And we have now established a huge precedence for the space that XRP, which I'll be honest, guys, I thought it was a security. From my understanding of the case, the fact that, you know, crypto as an ecosystem has won this case is, I mean, the implications are huge. So, you know, definitely, I'm sure something that will break down later on Market Talk today, with OPNX, right?
So we're gonna run our normal space, I believe, but then the OPNX space will be at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Sweet. I can't wait to talk about this with them and with you guys. I mean, like I said, the implications of this cannot be understated. You know, this is a real, you know, zoom out from the lower time frame type of moment, all things considered. And yeah, no, it's pretty damn cool. But y'all have a great rest of your Thursday. I'm gonna go for a walk outside. I think it's very bright and sunny outside. Thank you so much for your support. And yeah, without further ado, we will be back tomorrow. Thanks, guys.